Hello again, viewers. You join us at the end of the forest act on the Leshy fight, playing as the Spinventor. Oh, excuse me, the Peglin character. We've got a very nice little slimy salve start. We're going to be fighting Leshy. Let's see. I'm looking to make a super peg with best foot, either a double damage peg or a healing peg somewhere near the top. And considering that we have 9 pegs until our slimy salve, I want to try not throwing a small orb that'll find its way through gaps. I'm going to try a bigger pebble to stay near the top roughly so that we can get a peg that we can access. That's pretty good. That's not the worst we can get. I think we can always guarantee a rebound into it, but we can't guarantee hitting it with the first shot. So what I definitely want to do is clear off some pegs above it, because I do want to get best foot onto that peg as a top priority. I wish I could see what its path would be like, but since I can, I'll just send a Horrible. Either it will break some vines or it'll get stuck in the vines, but both are a good outcome. Now we get a very nice healing peg. That healing peg will heal us for 3 health each time. I'm contemplating using Dagorb to free the Horrible, which is a Leshy Vine tech. You get some orbs stuck in the vines, and then you free them with a orb that has a high damage per peg. I think that since it's not likely we're going to hit the crit here with the Dagorb, I'm going to send the Summoning Circle instead. I'll send it this way. Tech with the Summoning Circle is to make sure when the 3 orbs bounce outwards, they bounce in generally different directions. That's kind of a better strategy to get more widespread damage instead of all 3 going down the exact same path, and then you're not hitting 3 times as much as you could be. I could hit this way, but then it'll bounce towards all the other pegs, so I think this rebound is a much better approach. And then, I guess I got stuck here, so that's not ideal. But it's still better than going off the map, I think. Even though we did take 1 extra damage, I still think that that's okay. Which peg do I want to put double damage on? So first peg. I don't want to put it on any of these, because these guys will be in the way of the heal peg. I could put it on this one, and I think since this one is the one that we can make sure that we can always bounce between these two, is going to be the best peg. And now I could try to get myself the chance to buff this heal slime even more, or I could get more damage. I think more damage is actually more important. Mainly because we didn't get any Leshy tech, and we're gonna have to really keep up with the gardening here. It's actually quite funny that we ended up getting Slimy Salve. I should have actually looked at Slimy Salve to see when exactly it would buff it. Horrible is a great Leshy tech, actually. So basically the shape of the Horrible makes it much easier to hit this peg than the small line, like linear vine coming out of it. I might consider, let's see, would I want to skip for the Horrible? We're only going to be killing Tanglers. We might get a bomb. If we shoot Horribles here, we'd have to pop this one, but then they might get stuck over there. I'll pop this first, hopefully even that one, and then I'll send Horribles down. And I think I'll send them down this way so that they have a chance to bounce up and to the left. That's still not terrible. It's not terrible, it's horrible. But since we have 2 healing pegs on the left side of the board, I think that even though our Leshy tech is very, very poor, our sustain in this fight is just going to be completely keeping us alive. I'm trying to free from the right side of the board over to the left, so maybe I could tuck in a shot into there. I think that's very likely to hit the brambled peg. Unlucky wall bounce. Let's actually change plans a little bit. Try to get this vine here right above the refresh, because this cascade would be very, very helpful. Let's see, get that angle a little bit better. There, that's a good cascade. And now all we need to do is get that 1 peg, and then that 1 peg will make sure that these drop straight down onto the other cascade. This is a bit in the way. We could also go for a crit here. I think that's actually... No, these won't touch the crit. Okay, let's see if we can go for a straight up and down shot bouncing off of this peg. I try to get it to go farther to the left. See if I can get it off of this one. Basically, I'm worried about just getting the refresh online. And then as soon as that happens, we're looking okay. Horrible being summoned here is actually quite good. Because we can wipe some of these pegs out of the way. Good. I think I'll send one more Horrible down. That's really funny that that's happened again. But now we finally have one peg out of the way, and then guarantee this peg. There's our Cascade. There's our healing pegs back. And I think now that we can start buffing these healing pegs even more, our health is coming back too. So even though the board is brambled, all of our damage is over here on the left. And that's kind of all that we really care about. We could give it another extra damage peg. I think I'll put it on this peg. Oh, okay, so healing does override it. I actually didn't expect that to happen. But that's still okay, because we generally want to be throwing pegs down this left side. Keep in mind we do take triple damage from orbs getting caught in vines, but I think that's okay, considering the multi-ball's good potential of vine clearing. Now we're trying to get to this refresh down here, so I'm going to try to bounce this straight up and hit a vine to the right. Yes! Okay, perfect. That's exactly what I was going for. And now all we got to do is... Perfect, Terraball Tech. Then one more vine. And we'll get to the refresh. I think this bounce is probably the best way to do it. Yes. Okay. I think we're almost home free. Okay, looks like this vine actually is messing us up. And a little bit of healing. And perfect. Okay, that's exactly the bounce I wanted to see. While we have this peg online, I'm going to take the chance to buff it even more. Get all of our healing concentrated on the left-hand side. And remember, these pegs are still doing damage, so this is still a 60 damage peg, and it's a +7 heal. So even though without the Leshy tech, as the flora unfolded this run, just having a little corner of the board that we can super drill is everything we need. Okay, fantastic. And we got a max heal out of it. Excellent. Okay, so now we're looking at basically enabling this sort of super peg. So I think none of these particularly rings out to me. I'm also hoping to get Act 4. Get to Act 4, and also beat Act 4. So I'm starting to think about what a good Act 4 build would be looking like. So something really important is max HP, since your max HP is kind of getting drained on Act 4. Froggo Amulet's helping us out with that. Sustained healing from Slimy Salve, and actually scaling healing is even better here. So I think just buffing the board, buffing slimed pegs, and getting multiple hits on those slimed pegs, and then multi-ball with Summoning Circle is going to be our general approach. So basically, a standard Spinventor run. Now we do have, let's see, these two are our main, well, I guess this is ambiguous. This is our main projectile. These all benefit from slimed pegs. So I do like safety pegulations here. Basically an anti-bomb build. Leaf is interesting, but I don't think it's very good. I think the board can whittle down. Slime will definitely help the leaf be sustained, and then we're open to refresh synergies. We could get Cookie, but I guess Cookie is just kind of in parallel with Slimy. They don't really interact. And then the last one is Wand. So if attacks deal double damage, I think that also does apply to slimed pegs. But we do need to make sure that we have very good sustain. I think Slimy Salve is actually probably the best Spinventor adjacent sustain in the game. But we are also on the Peglin character, so we could still run into a Doctorb or a Nosferatu. I think Wand of Skulltimate Wrath is probably the best here. And then we also maintain bombs on the board as dealing double damage. Okay. Let's see, no treasure or Painbow or enemies heal with Ballmark. I think Painbow is probably the most doable. Painbow is actually, it's interesting. It's kind of better in a couple niche ways. The main one is that if Painbow's alive, the fight will last longer. It does steal gold off the board and block your projectiles. So those are the things you gotta watch out for. Now let's see if I can get my Dagorbs to spread out and then sink a ton of damage into Painbow. Excellent, very good. And we got some healing slime already. I think I should be able to get this to go straight up and down. Almost. Okay. Since we're now in Reflect territory, We need to think about, okay, rebound is scaling. So do we want to put damage in, or do we want to not risk it? I think since it's fairly early, we'll put damage in. It really does feel like the Spinventer now with Terra Ball being a 2-4, doesn't it? With 4-6 here, I think we keep going. We did just use up our slime, so this won't slime the board anytime soon. But now this will. It'll be fairly soon. So let's do a little bit of like bouncing it, skimming it over the top, and hopefully get an accessible slime. Not the best, not the worst. And it's too bad that we can't uber buff this. So instead, let's go ahead and uber buff a plus 30 peg with double damage. So let me see if I can get some bounces towards that 30. No, it popped it from the opposite side of the reflect. We're getting into dangerous territory. I think I'll bounce it towards the heels. I could also fully sandbag. Can I fully sandbag? I cannot guarantee to fully sandbag. Yeah, in the case that I can't fully sandbag, I'll try to get some heals. Now, I think a refresh is in order. Yeah, okay. Good thing that killed too. So now we could look at, let's see, if Slimy Salve procs here, I think that would actually be really good if it's near the top. Yes, so that's very good then. We're still there. The sash is torn. I didn't plan on this, but this is a very, very fortunate circumstance to be in. Now we're going to be maxing off of this healing peg. Basically as long as we can. I'm specifically thinking in navigation. Definitely not Omega Orb. Susceptible is interesting. Exploitable is okay on single enemies. So it's actually very good on like individual bosses and things like that. But we're actually lacking AoE damage a little bit. Bombs are our only real form of AoE. I think because of that I'll take Ice Circle. And now that I've gained the max HP off of Froggo, I'll give me a heal. We'll heal a little bit more after gaining the max. And may as well get a little better stat line. Now, we have a really nice path on the left, but at the same time, this is 4 healing per hit. So this already negates misnavigation. I don't know how I feel about this, but at the same time, our HP is really weak, and our healing is kind of slowly getting up to par. So the double elite here, with only a shop in between, not a normal fight that you can heal on, is potentially something that could be saving our run. Because otherwise we're actually scaling really well in terms of like long-term prospects. Summoning Circle into Two's Company is fantastic. We're going to get a ton of orange slime. And we could sink it into the Chandelier. Sink it into the Painbow Slime or hit the Chandelier. I reckon I'll wait for the Chandelier until there's an enemy under it, because I think I will probably be doing decent damage with it. Especially now that we have a lot of orange slime on the board. Now the multi-ball is really hurting, but the green slime is starting to get there. Now the more we multi-ball with Slimy Salve, this is even better than, this is the reason that it's even better than green slime, than Balm, is that Slimy Salve is like, as you're bouncing around the board with your actual multi-balls, your actual, you know, Summoning Circle or Matriarchka or whatever, you're applying green slime throughout the entire fight instead of once per the fight. So Slimy Salve just endlessly adds more and more green slime to the board. Refresh is probably just the best peg to hit here, as opposed to a 1 heal out of a green slime. But now, I really do like this green slime up here. Oh, this is perfect. We're going to get a ton of damage into Painbow. See, if you kill Painbow in a fight, like Painbow's health carries over between fights on a floor. So if you kill it early, that means it doesn't bother you anymore for the rest of the floor, the rest of the game. And you also get it to cash out its gold, so sinking that damage early is really good. Now I think we just farm the heal, so it's 4 heal per shot, which is just extremely valuable. Nothing's targeted, so this hardly matters. I do want this to try to get a double bounce onto this green peg, so I'm going to try to time it like that. Yes, perfect. Really good bounce there. And kill that front guy. And we don't really get a good shot onto the green peg now, but it's still decent healing, and if we heal, I think this guy does 4 damage, so if we heal 4 times, it's still worth. 3 damage. But we refreshed, so we can get another heal, and let's see if I can bounce it straight up and get multiple hits off of it. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. That was why I was really happy to see that heal peg right up front and center. Now we're looking at, okay, gold economy. So do we want to save our gold for healing? I reckon we do want this shop at the end here. I know that it's versus, you know, 2 fights in chest versus a question mark. It's like a shop versus a fight in a chest. I think shop is more important. So just the choice of relics and the fact that you can spend your gold. So accrue gold throughout the floor and then kind of get a huge boost in that way. 59 going into some question marks in a fight. I'm very much on the fence about healing. I think considering that Slimy Salve is not orb dependent, so it doesn't matter, draw order doesn't screw us over. We can fairly consistently get a few slime pegs on the board. So we actually want best foot to be a little bit later, not immediately, so you can buff a peg that's already there. I will hold off, just because we do have a bit of an incentive to wait, and we get an extra chance to get some heals. And the missed navigation is actually fully optimal. That's fantastic. They, Peglin devs graciously reduced missed navigation damage on higher Crucible levels from 5 down to 4. So missed navigation is now much less punishing. Now we're looking at, okay, 11 pegs hit. I think we can hit 11 pegs. Let's go for the crit into hopefully some bombs. So let me try to bounce it up. Okay, activate it. Good. And, oh yes! I was thinking like, yes, let's get the pegs closer to the center to get buffed. We'll do this. Very good. Now we're going to look at triple hitting it for getting 4 heal off the triple hit. Slime takes 3 punches to destroy. And I'll do it at this angle so that all 3 orbs hit that same peg. Fantastic. Now we'll refresh, and we're healing 4 per turn. We're taking a whole lot more than 4. So it's not quite sustainable. But as soon as we do get around to the best foot one more time, we're looking much better. At the same time, oh, well, we have a Torn Sash. So the Torn Sash is like massively, massively reducing our damage. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Lots of heals. Fantastic. Came out even more positive. Making me feel really good about holding off on spending gold. Now we've been offered a refresh tech. We have no other refresh tech. This is very, very helpful. And extra max HP from taking more orbs. So I'm definitely in the market to take more best foots. Best foots are actually quite a good bit of scaling for us right now. I'm also very interested in taking Orbsium or Heavy Hand, because those can multiply one peg's strength and activate it multiple times. So whatever you have on best foot, you can get more and more out of one peg using Orbsium. And let's be very careful with the navigation here with these orbs phasing up to the end of the board. And mess it up anyway. I forgot about the right one. That's okay. Chandelier above the Painbow Slime. Let's do that immediately. We'll save that refresh. That's a really nice refresh. I'll try to fire the orbs so that it's a little bit delayed so that it has plenty of time for the refresh to get around. Look at this. Summoning Circle into Horrible. Most people would be disappointed. I, instead, am pleased because Slimy Salve loves to get many pegs activated, which means we're going to get lots and lots of early green slimes. This is fantastic. This is exactly what you want to start a fight with. And I think now we'll just start pegging away at this green slime over here, just to get a little bit of extra benefit out of it. Now we're looking at, okay, do we like this crit for the Ice Circle? Like, do we think we can hit it? I don't think it'll let us. But at the same time, this pegboard has a lot of pegs that are hidden from view, so the likelihood that it will be better next turn is not much better than now. So at this angle, yes. At this angle, alas, no. However, this refresh is good enough anyway, and this looks like it might bounce into it. Okay, perfect. Now, I did completely mess up my targeting there. I deeply, deeply apologize. We could have wiped the entire board. But that's okay. Actually, that was completely intentional because I'm taking damage so slowly, thanks to the sash, that I'm just going to buff myself a super peg and take my sweet, sweet time healing myself back up to full HP off of my 4 heal per hit peg. I'll even fire the... Well, I have round guard, so I guess... I was going to say, I'll even fire the Terror Ball to delay my inevitable reload, but with round guard, hardly matters. Perfect. And I love that the Painbow Slime is trapped right here on the board. Let's see if we can maybe send some Icicles down this way to get the refresh. That's okay, we got a little bit closer to it. Now we can take the refresh, get some extra heals down there, and this is just beautiful. This is completely ideal. We have the Painbow Slime keeping us on the map for getting more healing, getting more damage on the Painbow Slime, getting closer to cashing out all of its gold. What's there not to love? We're max healed. I suppose I may as well be going for gold now. I could send it this way, but there's so few gold that I'll just take this guaranteed one. Painbow Slime is almost dead. I think we're definitely on track to get it by the end of the floor. Okay. I will stand by what I said. I am definitely in the market for best foot. However, we do like the idea of keeping some gold. We have question, chest, shop. I will hold off on upgrading this best foot because we don't have any guaranteed fights in between where we are at now. We have 3 health missing. May as well get a little bit of healing and potentially try to bounce for some gold. Hey, look at that. We've actually been massively rewarded for saving our gold because the only upgrade we have remaining we just got for free. Love it. Okay. It's multi-Horriballs. I don't know how much I love it now. This fight deals a ton of damage, has sparse pegs, and generally speaking, trying to sustain through this fight is going to be much more difficult than your average fight. But at the same time, we don't really have a choice. We either fire 1 Horrible or we fire 3, so we may as well fire 3. Do we want to start healing off the green peg? I don't think so. I think we start actually clearing path to the refresh, because our Ether Wheel is quite far, and at the same time, our Ice Circle will pierce. So let's try to get the timing right. Okay, that was actually kind of late. Got a little bit lucky. Saved by the bell. Now we definitely want to get this timing right. Next time. We'll get it next time. That's why we have 2 of them. Let's try to bounce it over to the right. That's fine. A little bit of orange. Never hurt nobody. Except the enemies that hurt. Well, okay, you know what? We'll get it after the reload, hey? That's okay, it doesn't matter. We have so much green slime everywhere else on the board. I kind of want to get a refresh, even though this refresh is leaving the board. Would like to get the refresh, just so it does a little more damage. It works out in the wash. I suppose may as well fire this. It's got fairly decent base stats, thanks to our beloved Skulltimate Wrath. Excellent. Very nice little healing. Kind of offset by Wrath, but that's okay. I definitely love 70 gold into a shop. I don't need any more upgrades. None of these seduce me. And this is a extra tile that we definitely want to take. No chest. Okay, let's see here. 20 on the Slimy Salve. So I think we're looking at just giving us a nice strong peg. And one of these top pegs is a pretty good one. You can either have pegs bounce to the right or straight down. So I'll buff this one, and then try to refresh into it, and then try to make it orange. Unless I get really lucky with Slimy Salve being like 1 or maybe 2. Now I'll probably get a little crazy bounce. So I'll try to bounce shot number 1 all the way to the right, shot number 2, slide it down, shot number 3, go through to the bombs. Let's see, does that work? Hey, look at that. Call your shots. Okay, good crit. Quite a good crit. Let's take it. Let's see if... Okay, bricks, which are these little slidey pegs, the little rectangles, will nullify your momentum when you hit them. In old Peglin, they would be way too bouncy, so you could never really get a good power slide in. Peglin looked at Peggle, the EA game, the like sort of big pachinko game that everyone knows, and Peggle is really good at power slides, and their bricks are sticky. So we're going to take advantage of that, and hopefully it'll nestle into the bomb. Perfect. Instead of if these were both round pegs, it would have bounced all the way to the top right. Okay, I want to make that 30 a 60. And also Terror Ball is just fantastic because you get that kind of beautiful slide all the way down the board. Torrent Sash is doing some heavy lifting. Really, really appreciating its work. Thank you. Only 2 pegs over to the left. Too far on that green slime, but that's totally okay. We can still get lots of damage and a little heal. So it's still plenty to be happy about. We'll use Icircle's piercing ability to try to get it to nestle into that refresh. Completely not how I expected that to turn out, especially with the green slime popping out just to pay us a little visit and cock block us, even though it is not extra bouncy and it was only hit once, so it didn't actually change anything. But that's okay. Now we're looking at hopefully healing it in this fight. So I'm thinking I might try to sandbag at some point. Not yet. Because ooh, that was really lucky. What I was gonna say is because we are looking at maybe getting a foot into the left peg, but now, oh, this is just fantastic. We got green slime on our buffed peg, and we got to buff our buffed peg. So we got to have our cake and eat it too. Fantastic. Now we're looking at, okay, third foot. Lots of considerations here. We will get removals. We will spend money and have less for the shop. We are 6 gold short of a double relic buy. We are at a relic removal. If we buy foot, we have 3 buffing options. Other options are piercing, whatever the hell Summoning Circle's role is on the team. He is the wild card. Refresh is quite helpful. Extra damage is probably going to be fairly important when it comes to, you know, punching through. I think best foot is fairly common. I think a third foot is only minimal advantage over existing 2 feet, which also applies biologically in real life. If you already have 2 feet, a third foot is very limited return. Now this is just 10 health, or if you hit it twice, 20, or if you don't adjust your cursor, you can keep doing it. Except it got destroyed on the 3rd hit, so you can't keep doing it perpetually. Ambidextrary is fantastic. We are not super sweating refreshing because we have Ether Wheel. Ambidextrary is spectacular. Maybe we might consider not removing. We could also buy Collusion Detection if we wanted to save gold down the line. I don't know if Collusion Detection is a serious get. House of Slime is nice. Orbit Story is... it's okay. I think the guaranteed chest is less glamorous than the improved odds for rare relics. We will start Orbit Story now. Grubby Gloves is not our build. Improved Catalyst is not our build. We could take one of these and remove. I think removal is still quite useful, even though we have Ambidextrary. Jupiter Orb is also kind of nice, actually, because it's piercing equal to Icircle, except it will activate more pegs on the board, and since our pegs are footed, are buffed, Jupiter Orb's long-term prospects are much better than Icircle. I think House of Slime is actually quite good. I think Collusion Detection is not necessary. It's definitely House of Slime. It's between Jupiter Orb or moving. Jupiter Orb is rare. Jupiter Orb is piercing. Removing is consistency. We still have the entire 3rd act, and we don't really like to run into question marks, which have increased scenarios that can remove relics for you. Sorry, remove items for you. You cannot remove relics. I think we'll take Jupiter Orb. I think we'll have chances to remove relics later, and Jupiter Orb is interesting enough. Activates lots of stuff while also being attacks all. I think there's very few orbs in the game that activate more additional pegs. slash additional times that can synergize with peg buffs and also attack all enemies. So here we have an interesting question. Do we want to get the pain bow, or do we want to get the plants? I think we start with the pain bow, for the simple reason that this is our last chance to get all of the gold out of it, to ring it for all of its money. Give me your lunch money. Try to get the crit. Didn't get it. Hardly mattered. We have a loss of, what, 25% damage. Okay. Definitely just refresh. So, but I do often value saving the refresh for later. Essentially, if you have, let's say, half of the board remaining, it depends on the peg board. Peg boards in which refreshes are really hidden and really hard to hit, I will very often... Hey, look at that. I will very often strongly advise to save the refresh, to hold off on refreshing. What the heck are we looking at? Did this refresh just move off of this peg? I could have sworn it was here. Okay, Two's Company or Jupiter Orb. I actually want to just give Jupiter Orb a chance to shine. Let's see. This should bounce like mostly downwards off of here. Ay. I was hoping it would get pulled down a little bit more and hit the refresh. Look at that. That's exactly how I planned it. Yes, now we'll get Jupiter Orb a chance to shine. Hit lots of pegs. It is only level 2. Keep in mind, if a peg is durable and it has multiple bits of gold in it, each hit will only give you 1 gold out of it. So you see that. The same thing on bricks on the power slide pegs. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. Hey, you know what I didn't know about Jupiter Orb? Just like Cauldron Bubble, the one that you throw a big blob of poison that attacks everyone, it's one of these orbs that isn't a projectile but targets everyone. And the thing about it not being a projectile means it does not get reflected, but at the same time it's not targeted, so it does not get reduced damage against the mirrors. I'm pretty sure I saw that it didn't get reduced damage, but I expected to get that reflected. That was a pleasant surprise. Very nice. Lots of gold. Decent healing. Now we have a ton of gold. Now we can consider another foot. And since we now are looking at ambidextrary, I think another foot is definitely on the table, which is very rude to have your feet on the table. Heal is pretty important. We don't really care about multiples of 30 since we have healing as a source. Slimy Salve being on 1 is actually game-changing. Like, this is probably going to hammer the last nail in the coffin of the Ballista Gentleman. Now, do we want more scaling? Do we want more Jupiter Orb? I think Jupiter Orb's pretty fun. Do we want to burn 10 gold? I would, to ensure my chances on Ballista and waste the 10 gold. Except, I'm already looking at my chances on Ballista with Slimy Salve being at 1. Now, very important, do not hit a peg here. Save the salve. This is a really important high-level technique. Any relic that is periodic in this way, that activates on multiple hits, whatever, it's always really, really helpful to glance at it from time to time. See what it's at, see what you can expect for your shot. So I've been talking a lot about like keeping my orb near the top of the board because I have Slimy Salve proccing in, you know, 5 or 10 pegs. Front and center, give me a good slime. Beautiful. Now we have our feet down at the bottom. Once again, biologically how it should be, I suppose. This is a decent refresh, so I will save that refresh because this map, you can actually get the refresh screwed a little bit. A nice, easy way to get your orb stuck in the bottom here, for 2 reasons, is to bounce it off the ceiling. So the first reason is it slows the orb down, so it gives the orb a chance to get wedged in this corner instead of bouncing out. But the second reason is while you have confusion, here you sweep across this large angle kind of quickly, so it's hard to land it in precisely here. But here you sweep across this angle. Basically, the ceiling is half of your 360 field of view, so you sweep through this half the time and then through the rest of the board half the time. So it feels like it's slower up here, and the margin of error is much larger. So basically, aim to bounce it off the ceiling. Okay, we'd have to fire a shot anyway to do our double skip. I will say, I try to play Peglin more or less optimally most of the time, but I'm actually probably the world's worst ambidextrary user. I will literally just ignore that motherfucker every chance I get. This is a little awkward because I did want to buff the front peg, but that's okay. Let's just try to refresh. Oh, wonderful shot. Very proud of that. I think I am content with ignoring these dudes. Oh, please, Red Nexus, make it so that the summoning circle sprays the orbs in all different directions when it does this. By the way, confusion not affected by speeding up or slowing down. But since it does not, we'll try to drill it straight down. I really like that arcade game. And I do mean like the real life arcade, like that you go to where you get tickets and then you buy stuffed animals. Or like a stick of gum after spending like $30. The arcade game where you have a ring of lights under a glass dome, like little light bulbs, and the light bulbs light up, chasing each other in a circle. Each other with only one light turned on at a time. And you push the button when the light is exactly in front of you. I've always been really good at that game. So confusion is like me using the exact same skill, which is just kind of surprising. I don't know if I want Ice Circle here. I'm not getting that crit because I want the healing. But I guess some piercing is still nice. Oh yeah, and that's another mechanic I kind of forgot about. When Ice Circle pierces a peg, it'll crunch that peg. It'll destroy it. Do I want to refresh or do I want to buff this orange peg? I think 60 damage on an orange peg is pretty nice, so I'll do that instead. I was really nervous about making sure that I got that hit because I literally just talked big talk, telling a story about how I love the game that makes my pointer spin like crazy and I'm really good at it. Healing is more important than boss damage. I'll just out heal the ads, the minions when you have targeted stuff. If you have healing, this is quite good. If you don't, you definitely want to be targeting these guys, assuming you're playing with a lot of targeted orbs, as I am. Come on, give us some good activations. Hey, that's pretty good. Nice. And Jupiter Orb, kind of like Ball Lightning, collects some gold for you as well, so that's kind of a nice little benefit. There we go. Buff our orange peg. Now, here's where it gets interesting, that our refresh is a little bit trapped. So I reckon I'll burn this because we're not looking at getting our green slime back anytime soon. This is going to, well, it's going to help me drill into the refresh and also just refresh upon leaving the board. Works for me in both ways. And now we can just take a little bit of 7 heal on the peg, and that's the boss. Alright, wonderful. We've made it to the mines. For the first time documented on camera. Hooray. I don't think any of these orbs particularly matter. Like Splat Orb is nice for on the forest, for making slimes durable. Basically, a slime being durable is probably the best thing about pegs getting slimed, that you can just get the damage you buffed them for multiple times out of it. I will probably save the gold in case there's an early shop. I could upgrade the Dag Orb or whatever, but you know, we also have ambidextrous, so we are zipping through. Don't have a gold build. That was last run. Don't have... I have some mitigation of red bombs. I could do some Spiness stuff, but Heavy Hand just basically synergizes with exactly what we're doing. I mentioned it before. I was kind of considering the other options if any of them were better. I know my peg boards, so this is okay. Considering we're sliming, this is actually even better. Fight a boss, we're at max health. This is probably even better. Or fight a bunch of chests. Chests, okay. So how do we feel about chests? Mimics. We probably have fairly decent consistency. With Ambidextrous, we can get to whatever orb we need fairly quickly. Get to our summoning circle, our powerful one, fairly quickly. Slimy Salve means we start generating slime quite quickly as well. Orber's Nightmare has an upside to it. I don't know if it's every question mark peg, or sorry, node, becomes the Mimic, or if it's only chests become the Mimic, or if the Mimic spawn rate is just like punched up like crazy. But regardless of what it is, the Mimic is not just more elite fights on your floor, it also has an extra boon as an elite itself. It gives you one additional choice of Elite Relic. So not only does it give you the Elite Relic, as any Elite fight does, it also gives you, let's see, default is 2, so 3 choices with the Mimic, 4 choices with Peglin Tuition. And if you're playing Peglin, and you have the Eye of Turtle, common relic, and you run into the Mimic, you are in for a treat because you get a rare sight at a Elite fight giving you 5 whole options. Let's see. Slimy Salve at 10. We'll probably get a better green slime than that one. Meh. You know. 2 times 0 is 0. Basically, can't hit that one, can't hit that one. I'm sure we'll heal up on the next fight. Actually, we have 2 pegs until our next screen. So let's try it. There we go. So I was going to say, let's try to bounce it somewhere nice and hittable. And that's perfect. And then may as well get some refreshing done. Hit a bunch of healing pegs. Yeah, this run is definitely like entirely due to the Torn Sash. Ooh, Swoltorb, I have some strong thoughts of. I don't like Swoltorb very much. I don't like the fact that even at max level, plus 4 damage, you still need 3 buffs to get a peg over that plus 10 threshold of it doing an extra effect for most slimes, but really healing slime is the star of the show when it comes to any sort of slime build. We do have our early shop, as the prophecy foretold. We don't need to heal, we don't need to upgrade. We could get an extra foot, but 3 feet is plenty. This fight got a little bit easier. They made the pegs stay on the screen for longer. Notice that some of the pegs, they're out of sync with each other. So some of them like go a little bit faster, a little bit slower, but they all start together. So it's good to like count to like 3 big phases. And now look, it's all random noise. So basically your orb will definitely fall through the board if you shoot it too early. So just be a little bit patient. And then it'll start phasing. And in this, when it's nice and chaotic like this, your orb will never plunge straight down. I think maybe that was a misplay. Basically, you want to kill these guys before they can buff enemies that pass them, the mushrooms. So the mushrooms will apply Must Circle. Maybe I should have tried to kill this guy, but I don't really have targeting. I have piercing though. I have piercing. I don't think it matters. I don't think that this guy's gonna get to me, and our healing is so good that we'll probably just heal back whatever the mushrooms do. Oh, the mushrooms base damage is 1. That's right. Alright, let's go ahead and discard for refresh. I actually was gonna pierce my way to the refresh, but now it doesn't matter. And 2 to slime. Let's see. Can we like get it on the 30? I think actually I'm gonna do something crazy and skip a good orb into a bad orb, because the power of looking at Slimy Salve, you get your green slime exactly where you want it, just because you see that it's a 2 instead of a whatever other number, or instead of a 1 and you shoot it directly at the peg. So made that rebound go exactly where I wanted it. Oh, and now we just have infinite health. There we go. Let's get lasering. Now may as well just kick some damage downstream. I'm going to fire off Pebbles, because I don't like reloading when enemies can walk forwards, so Round Guard does not prevent them walking closer to you. Basically, like, the difference in the effect of Round Guard and Decoy Orb, where Decoy Orb prevents them from walking. You know, for example, think about the wall. Decoy Orb is very good against the wall. Round Guard does nothing. So I'm gonna let him get up to me so that I may as well get some value out of Round Guard. With that said, though, I will buff that peg. With buffing orbs, like Best Foot Forward, Swoltorb, Reforbisher, the +6, +8, one that used to deal no damage is now 0/0. With those ones, Heavy Hand is really, really good. Heavy Hand and Orbsium. Well, Orbsium doesn't really matter unless you have a relic like the Endless Devouring, or which one that does +4 upgrading on hit. Because usually Best Foot applies +30, but it doesn't get +30 that same shot. But with Durable, or not Durable, but like with that multi-hit of Heavy Hand / Orbsium style multi-hit, you actually get it immediately. And that's why I shot the Jupiter Orb, so that I can activate Heavy Hand here. Another instance of looking at the relic counters, so that when I hit this, I'll even slow it down just to prove my point. When I hit this, it will be first hit, it'll be the original 30 times 260, but then the second hit, it'll be plus 60 times 2, the new 60, which is 120. So we'll see a 60 and then a 180. 76 to 12. Close-ish because we have 8 base damage. Now we have something interesting because we have Metri Orbshka, and this is where base Peglin is going to deviate away from the behavior of the Spinventor. Because Metri Orbshka is going to hit a buttload of slimes all over the board. We could compare it to Ball Lightning. However, look at this. It's every 35 hit. Metri Orbshka hits a ton of pegs. Ball Lightning activates a ton of pegs. Both of them benefit very well from, Must Circle and stuff. I also love that they have small stat lines that synergize very well with those types of buffs. But we're going to just use it on its hit pegs. We're going to use it for Slimy Salve. We're going to exploit it for that. And I'm looking at my path, so I'm going to go there. And then I can't make it to that elite, so I'll just go for the chest. And I suppose we can go for the other elite. Maybe we go for the other shop? See, I kind of value shops quite well, especially when you can choose 1 or 2 relics. Choosing a relic from 5 relics is really, really good. It's can't be understated how good it is to have freedom of choice. That's why the Peglin is a very powerful character. It's going up against, defense and piercing on the Baladin, dodge and status effects and other tangible things that you actually start with. +1, +2 on Spinventor. But, there's something to be said about having choice. This is very important, so I'm going to forego 4 healing because I don't want to risk misnavigating. And yeah, this is fantastic. And we have an early Slimy Salve, so I'll do this right before Best Foot so that we have Best Foot that we can control directly onto the thing. I want to get rid of this ranged enemy. I just don't like that sort of sustained extra damage. I expect it to be a little annoying. Let's keep grabbing our healing. And Technicolor my board for me, please. Wonderful. If this wasn't Ether Wheel, I would be gunning for the refresh. I'd use this to drill. I really love using Summoning Circle to drill through pegs, getting 3 shots out of 1. Not just triple the damage, but getting through the pegboard. I will still drill kind of, because we do need to get to that refresh eventually. Hey, it worked. And at the same time, the Ether Wheel's innate buff of, an innate benefit of leaving the board, etc. I don't want to use Ice Circle like that. I'll use Ice Circle, try to use it come on, bounce it. Yeah, like that, because I don't want to, I don't know if I hit it or not. I didn't want to destroy it with the first hit. Let's just take some healing. We're missing a little HP. It's also 30 damage. Let's get some Jupiter Orb action. I just remembered Ambidex. It just takes 2 bad orbs in a row to trigger my memory. If they're mediocre orbs, I won't remember, and I will just fire one of them. But if there's 2 in a row, I'll be like, if only I had Ambidex. Oh, I do. Okay, this essentially doesn't matter. I think, honestly, health is so okay right now that I'll just get a little, 1 extra gold. Maybe even again if I could get there? Doesn't matter. Okay, perfect. Oh, another Metrovka. Oh, you are tempting me. Slimy Salve benefits massively from it. Minesweeper boss, really, really tough with on-hit effects. So Minesweeper boss, I'll show you on the boss itself. You are going to see Slimy Salve, the on-hit effects, not cycling through Slimy Salve. When you hit bricks, the bricks that the Minesweeper puts down, the covered pegs. So this won't be very good on it. However, it will be good on Act 4. Hitting more pegs is generally better. But there is Deathfire that swallows your max HP. But we like Froggo Amulet, so we already get 3 extra. Yeah, I reckon I'll take it because of Froggo, because of Ambidex. So basically, I can negate its downside of eating my max HP with not shooting it, and also I get a little extra max HP. And I get a free upgrade. I think 158 is just so much money to take into a shop. That's really nice, as opposed to more money than I need. It probably is more money than I need. Our sack is now getting so thick that even for ambidextrary, we probably want a removal. These relics do not tempt me. I will go for the removal first. I almost was in Spin Venter mode where I'm like, oh, maybe we keep the Terrible for its stat line. Let's see. This is some healing. This is going to be very minor. We don't have anything gold related. This is extra gold. This is going to be perhaps not really pay off very well very soon. We don't do Moss Circle. Unicorn Horn, really nice for consistency. Maybe not super important. However, actually, no, you know what? It is important because we do like making precise peg shots with our foot. We'll take Unicorn. And I think an apple a day. Basically more max HP for the final floor. It's really good. And especially on a heal like this one, where you have, or on a build like this one where you have a lot of healing, the max HP means you can eat through more. And at the same time, let's see, Unicorn Horn. You can use this type of tech, shoot it straight up, and get it to go straight down. Very nice. Lose a Slimy Salve, lose a little bit of health with Skulltimate. It's all bad. Here we have to, you know, answer for our choices with taking Orbert's Nightmare. But we might be rewarded. Oh, this is a chest tile. Okay, I think I'm starting to understand how this works then. So it's not question mark tile, it's just chests. All of these will be the Mimic. Come on, we have to do it. We have to do it. We'll heal out of it too. Because this fight is difficult because it has few pegs that your orbs hit before getting off the board. But look at our build. It's a foot build. We don't care. Let's see. Do we want Summoning Circle? Sure, let's go for Summoning Circle. Let's get the refresh and bounce it up this way. Good. Alright, I don't love that. I think because of the refresh being there. Oh, we could do some interesting stuff with Unicorn Horn, though. We could get some rebounds over towards the refresh. I don't know. I guess it's not super important. Although, let's see if we can get some Matryoshka action going. Kind of. It was alright. Now, I don't love firing 2s because I don't want to block anything towards the refresh. If I fire here, skip here. Never mind. We get to Ether Wheel faster. Let's do it. May as well go here because that's where the best potential is for getting more pegs. Okay, it didn't really matter. Now, between Jupiter Orb or Ether Wheel, we can still get a refresh off of discarding. So let's fire Jupiter Orb. And why not heal? Just a little bit. Excellent bounces. Thank you, Jupiter Orb. And refresh me, please. Thank you very much. And let's get some Technicolor, hopefully near the center of the board. Our Slimy's at 8, so we're close. Yes, I saw a good green slime there. Now we will Unicorn into a good refresh. Unicorn Horn used to be really broken. It used to not work for many reasons, but now we can get buffs onto this guy. Wave Round Guard, double skip. Let's get to a foot. Hey, look, an early foot. Good. And let's see if we can get a straight bounce there. Yeah, it used to behave really weird with any sort of magnetism portals. It used to like break with multi-ball, like a split effect. Actually, I don't know. Maybe I might be capping. This looks like as far right as the bounce is gonna go. Please hit my super peg. I didn't hit my super peg, but I hit all the other healing pegs. So, you can't be too upset about that. Now we hit our super peg. And there's our heal, and there's our damage. Wonderful, wonderful, very good. Okay, now we're looking at trying to get to this refresh, and I think it's just this peg in the way. So let's get that peg out of the way. We put a slime on it. Probably should have seen that coming. It is exactly what it says on the tin. But that's okay. We have Unicorn Horn. What are we worried about? Now we could get crazy refreshes. I actually like that because we're gonna have three orbs on the board, and as one leaves, the board will refresh for the other orbs. Yeah, I really like Ether Wheel with Summoning Circle because you get refreshes mid-shot. Now a loose circle is actually quite a decent consideration. Basically because dodging the attacks on the 4th act, essentially, I think you can also like avoid losing max HP. I think I'll consider it. I'll try it as a source of illusion. We are on the Peglin character, so we could get, you know, anything could happen basically. Hey, look at that. 2 elite relics plus 1 from Peglin plus 1 from Mimic. Ooh, this is new. Losing health adds gold. We lose a lot of health. We're going to add a lot of gold. We're going to use that gold to trigger a loose circle. This has a really good synergy. This can help, but we have some piercing. We have Jupiter Orb. This is insane with Matryoshka. This I could not give a rat's ass about. Okay, it's either Matryoshka with getting double activations, Orbsium style, or it's a gold synergy. This gold synergy just entered the room. Matryoshka, we've had 2. They work with buffed pegs with plus 30 pegs. They are exactly what I've been talking about. Multiple activations, the Orbsium effect. We have to take the small packages. We will make the spooky scary Peglin hat work another day, and we definitely want to go right so that we can have a chance at this other chest. We are missing a little bit of health, so may as well get it right back. Except we took a Skulltimate hit. Oh, but I guess the hit happened first and the healing happened after. That works. No, never mind. It's all mimics. Oops, all mimics. This is actually really good. We're gonna get literally how many elite relics out of this? An insane amount. And send it into the healing pegs and kill him with that. What a long fight. Okay, I think I've been taking it like so slowly. I can just rush through these mimic fights. They are not terribly threatening. Jackorb Lantern is a decent synergy with buffed pegs as well because it can get multiple hits, but it's never going to get as good as Matryoshka. Ooh, increase the amount of applied by 1. 5 Belusion, huh? So it's like 20% extra Belusion. Okay. More gold, more damage. We have said no to our gold generator. This guy likes collecting gold, but nothing generates gold. Blind is good. Dungeon die is quite nice. Stat line doesn't really matter when we're going for this, but may as well. We have ambidextrary. Dungeon die has some very, very favorable math with ambidextrary. Okay, let's see what happens to chests. Is it like all chests from anywhere? Oh, I just know it's a mimic. Oh, I could just feel it. I could just smell it. All right. Just the fact that the green slime gives you both sustain and damage is insane. So I think a valid nerf to the green slime. The green slimes definitely need a nerf. I don't think anyone would argue that. Basically, the Spinventor needs more varied gameplay and like styles of play. One of the ways you could nerf green slime, it used to not refresh. Now that it refreshes and you can make super pegs, it's crazy. But one of the ways you can nerf green slime is make it so that when you have a buffed peg under green, the buffs do not add to your damage. They only add to the healing. I think that would actually be completely reasonable. Swoltorb, I don't love because it doesn't like, it kind of spreads things out around the board instead of putting it on one peg. I mean, it is quite good, like longevity, long-term healing. But I suppose we'll hold off. Our gold will... no, I guess we won't take it to the shop. We will have a shop next floor, though. It'll be an expensive shop, so gold won't take us as far. Simple stats. Ooh, multi-crit. Okay. Now, this is interesting, right? We have no extra crit on the board at all, ever. But we could make one. And then multi-crit hits give us some crazy scaling. Or we get some extra peg hits. Okay, I think this is too up in the air. This is a ghost. We're seeing ghosts, basically. The ghost is this sort of imaginary, really good build that you could have. But don't pick for ghosts. So, Power Glove versus Pumpkin Pie. Do we want stat line? Or do we want a little bit more bouncing? I think it's got to be a little bit more bouncing, because that's where our build is at. Our build is not a stat line build. It is a bouncy build. Navigation literally does not matter at all. So let's just go for gold. Ha ha ha. Relic reference. Immediately punished in terms of not taking the fleece. I guess refresher course is just a little bit better. A little bit of extra scaling. Plus we have our ether wheel. Alright. Getting loose circle first is nice. We will get 0 damage out of it because the crit is way over there, but that's okay. I don't really care. Let's get some buffed pegs. I was actually trying to go for that one. I mistimed the one I was trying to aim for. There we go. I really like this pie pit. Pumpkin pit. It goes straight down. Yes, I'm aware of the pumpkin pie's weakness. I don't care. I simply value it with its weakness in mind, and I value it extremely highly and don't give a damn about its weakness. Basically, it's part of the package. It's kind of like you're dating your girlfriend, but her farts smell really bad. Nothing you can do. And it's still worth it. And it's still great. Do we want bulwark? No. Do we want more gold? More gold, maybe. Maybe with this, but I don't think the synergy is strong enough to really win me over. I suppose we'll save gold for the next floor. Give me a little bit heal. A little bit. Nice. Hello, Mimic. I've stomped you. It's a stalemate. Mimic not resigning. Oh, that was a fun shot. I should have given that shot a little bit more light of day. These are all of these are like kind of interesting for their own builds, but none of them really work with what we're doing. Okay, this is interesting. If we took the lucky button, this would actually be quite good because I'm almost certain exploitable does benefit from your peg buffs. Believe this does too. Believe this is too. This is unnecessary. So basically, we're going to forego popping corn because we haven't dropped below 130 HP this entire floor. Plus, non-max HP healing is limited on the next floor. It's either a 10% flat buff, or when the board is really screwed, we get a multiplier. Let's do this because we are actually like fairly unfazed by the board being in a really bad state. Really empty of pegs. 2 more question marks. Oh god, I don't want to fight another Mimic. I mean, okay, it's better for the Act 4. Do it for the Act 4. More Elite Relics, better build, better Mimic. We're on Crucible 20, right? Okay, good. Well, we have a Torn Sash. Torn Sash makes it feel like C0. You know what? Screw it. Let's just send this down. Because it will just tunnel straight down. Buff the peg. I don't know if we're getting Slimy Salve this fight. I don't know if there's any real like reason to go for it because we're getting so many buffs off of this central peg. There we go. Yep. Ooh, okay. Restorb, Restorb is not a bad consideration for an extra 2 max health. Well, and you know 3 upon accepting it. And I think considering that it will get out of your way as soon as you fire it, I'll take it. I've been kind of pushing Froggo Amulet to the limit. Look at my max health, 139 with the apple over here. Good for multi-enemies. I'm not terribly worried about that. This is the heart of every single gold build that ever exists on this planet Earth. Re-Philosopher's Stone is unbelievable. Your board will flood over and fill up with gold. When we heal, damage triple. I don't think our health is going to go... I don't think this matters that much. Because this tripled is 400. Yeah. Like, our health doesn't go down that much because of Torn Sash. I think this. I think more gold. More gold, more good. More money, less problems. Okay, there we go. 4,000 damage. Where did that come from? I guess that was Bag of Orange Pegs combined with a favorable dungeon die. I'm actually not even sure. Shitty refresh. Let's just get these pegs up here. All right, nice. Shitty refresh with an ice circle. Let's see. Any slimy salve opportunities? Not really. Let's just see if we can hit as much of the board as we can. Try to get some heals out of the unbuffed slime pegs. Quite good. Ooh. When fired. We're not going to get it 3 times, but because fired usually means when thrown. But, you know, maybe we'll get it once. An extra time. I don't know if this works. I've never done this. No, it does not work. Okay. So, okay, never mind. It is when fired with your hand in this board. Well, of course. I've seen that happen 1,000 times, so I should have known the interaction. Okay, thank you, pumpkin pie. Ooh, very nice. Yes. Love, 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 love. Okay. Pumpkin Pie giving me like every green peg getting hit every time possible. And we're back to max health. Okay. We're in a really good spot now. Now we're getting excited. All right. Let's get it. Down. 10 on Slimy Salve. I reckon usually you get a green peg near the top. Hey, look at that. I just wanted to keep fire the best foot, just on the odd chance that the green slime somehow got refreshed and applied there. I guess it didn't matter. It was a lot. Wow. Good job, red bombs, and of course, Ultimate Wrath buffing them. Sure. Let's activate some more. How bad could it be? They get rounded down from 5 to 2 anyway. Dodge is nice, but our main damage, like, the main way of getting hit is red bombs, which you can't dodge, so I'll just do this. Me once again misusing ambidextrous. I went to right-click an extra third time. But with that said, I would really love another way to get more discards, and probably, honestly, well, look at it this way. There's common relics that add nothing here in particular. Poltergeist is okay, but we already have AoE, and you don't really need that much AoE on the last floor. If you look at common relics, so is it Lucky Button or Special Button? I guess it's Special Button and Lucky Penny, huh? Special Button and Lucky Penny, 1 crit, 2 crits. The green bandana. I can't remember what it's called exactly. The green bandana and Peg Bag. 1 refresh, 2 refreshes. So let's get ambidextrous and let's get the library, where the library gives you 2 extra skips. I think that would be really cool. And that would make the scroll a lot better. The one that gives you +3/+3 and loses a discard. Was it Sealed Conviction, yeah. And then what I was talking about with these bricks is watch Slimy Salve. Am I crazy actually? Does it apply through the pegs? Through the bricks? Could have sworn that these do not count on hit. I'll even skip my good orb just to test it again. Alright. I guess I'm making an absolute fool of myself because I learned something new today too. That's totally okay. I'll even let this guy hit me. Oh, never mind. I don't care, because 3 orbs at you. Alright. Kaboom! Thank you, Ultimate Wrath. Hey, look at that, a card. Max HP is important. Let's take it. And here you go. 500 orbs. And some multi-balls. Oh, thank you, Pie. I love it. I love when Metroidka like completely fully utilizes the pie hole. Hooray! A C20 win on the Peglin character. Purportedly the worst character, the hardest character to win on.